For months now, an expense scandal has been brewing in the Canadian Senate. Senators have been audited. An RCMP investigation is reportedly in the works, but the scandal has been confined to the Red Chamber until now. 3 senators are under the microscope for claiming their Ottawa home as a second residence. Last week, 2 of them were ordered to pay back tens of thousands of dollars. The third, Conservative Senator Mike Duffy, had already paid back in March, and it turns out he made the payment courtesy of a personal cheque cut by the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff for $90,000. Today, that's taking attention beyond the Senate to the doors of the Prime Minister's office in the Langevin block. Canada's Ethics Commissioner is now looking into the payment. The CBC's senior correspondent, Terry Malevsky, has more tonight. Terry.
Well, Peter, this is a stunning development. The government has been praising Mike Duffy for his leadership in paying back his ill-gotten expenses, but it turns out he didn't. The Prime Minister's Chief of Staff paid them, and the opposition says Duffy didn't get the money for nothing.
And what does he know about the Conservatives for them to be bending over backwards to keep him there, even giving him $90,000 to shut him up?
I would never knowingly fiddle anything.
Mike Duffy's always said he just made a mistake by claiming $90,000 in expenses for a second home in Ottawa, when it was, in fact, his primary home and has been for years.
Senator Duffy, could you just stop?
At first, Duffy ducked, famously sneaking out through a kitchen to avoid reporters, but he finally agreed to pay the money back.
To put all of this behind us, we are going to voluntarily pay back my living expenses related to the house we have in Ottawa.
But we now know he didn't pay it back. He got the money from the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Nigel Wright. Wright's a wealthy businessman and, it seems, a very generous friend. So he just gave the $90,000 to Duffy. The Prime Minister's office declared that Mr. Duffy agreed to repay the expenses because it was the right thing to do. However, Mr. Duffy was unable to make a timely repayment. Mr. Wright therefore wrote a cheque from his personal account for the full amount owing, so that Mr. Duffy could repay the outstanding amount.
Nigel Wright has taken action here to protect taxpayers against ineligible expense claims, and I think he's honorable for having done that.
Honorable was not the word the opposition chose.
It doesn't look very savory. It just doesn't pass the smell test here.
Since when are you allowed to just give over $90,000 to a sitting senator who's in the middle of an investigation to frustrate the investigation? That's the essential problem here.
A key issue is that the ethics rules do prohibit giving money to parliamentarians. The rule says neither a senator nor a family member shall accept any gift or other benefit that could reasonably be considered to relate to the senator's position. The rules also say that for any gifts over $500, the senator shall within 30 days file a statement disclosing the nature and value of the gifts. That did not happen.
This is a very serious situation, and it's just really the tip of the iceberg of how much the Senate is a scandal and why the Senate should just be shut down.
But it's not just the Senate in trouble now. The Conflict of Interest Commissioner is reviewing Nigel Wright's conduct. The PMO says Harper did not know about it, but he does now, and of course the jokes are starting. Lots of people say they too want cash from the bank of Nigel. Not a good sign, Peter.
All right, Terry Malevsky on Parliament Hill tonight.